This week on Trillionaire Mindset, we're talking about the debt ceiling and whether or not we'll raise it or we'll send the economy into a tailspin.
That's right. Plus, the Berkshire Hathaway annual investor meeting where old farts Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett talk about how you're never going to be as rich as they are.
And we're doing a deep dive into the New York Times' rehabilitation of Elizabeth Holmes. Does it work? We'll find out.
Also, Dianne Feinstein, welcome back.
Welcome back to Hockey at the Beat Man. Kramer, when I get done with you. Yeah.
Are you ready for a Trillionaire Mindset?
Fill me up, Arrow. Bitcoin solves this. Bitcoin 100,000.
How's yours?
Good. I feel better already.
Yeah. What are you reading?
Well, it's chapter 3 called Feeling Good.
Of what book?
This is Personal Development for Dummies.
I'm of course reading the Bible.
Oh,
The Christian Community Bible.
Do you have a favorite passage in there?
I was just reading this in the book of Job. And I would like to read it for you,
Hit me.
for the audience, if I may. This is Job 1, verse 6. One day the sons of God came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came with them.
That motherfucker.
Yahweh asked Satan, "Where have you been?" Satan answered, "Going up and down the earth, roaming about."
He's always doing that shit.
He's always doing that shit. Yahweh asked again, "Have you noticed my servant Job? No one on earth is as blameless and upright as he, a man who fears God and avoids evil."
Wow,
Really makes
that
you
really
think.
hits home. I've been reading this about cooling yourself off. Anger management has become such a buzzword recently that there's even a Hollywood movie about. There's a typo here.
There's a typo in that book.
And you know what? I'm not even angry about it. That's how good this book's doing.
Continue.
We haven't actually seen it as we're too busy helping people to not be angry. Who wrote this? The copy in this is horrible. Let's say that you are coming to a hypnotherapist for anger management treatment. Most hypnotherapists, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
See, I'm already pissed.
By the way, I know it's Job, you absolute fucking psychos. I know you're shitting your pants out there.
A bunch of people just deleted shit.
But it's spelled job, so I don't know what you want to do. Take it up with God, okay? Man, it is really funny that they were just hanging out with Satan, and God was like, what have you been doing?
What have you been doing, Satan?
Just
Going up and down the earth?
I think of Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. I was just going up and down Earth.
Do you think they're like, oh, fuck, Satan's coming? Be cool.
Hey, guys. What up?
Shit, it's Satan.
Yeah, he probably sucked. That's why
I
they
fucking hate this
banished him.
guy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. As per usual, check the disclaimer in the description box so that you cannot sue us. Also, I guess thanks to everybody for joining us on the live show last week. It was real fun, and if you missed it, too fucking bad.
No, it's actually not too bad because it's up online and you can still watch it. Yeah, so it's your lucky day, pal. Go check it out.
Yeah, so for those of you who still insist on asking, where is it? Just look around.
Go to youtube.com/Trillionaire Mindset and hit the live tab, and you can watch them all there.
You'll see it.
There's all kinds of funny stuff we're doing.
Yeah, freaky shit that we're into. I mean,
That's where we get real freaky.
Man, some are saying that was one of our best lives yet.
I do feel like they say that every time, but maybe we just get better and better.
Maybe that's probably the case. Man, we gotta open up with some real awesome news. We have some huge Trillionaire Mindset Medal of Valor.
Medal of Valor?
I watched Going Clear last night.
What's that?
The Scientology documentary.
Did you really?
And they awarded Tom Cruise they made up an award for him called the Medal of Valor.
I like that.
The Freedom, I think it was the Freedom Medal of Valor. And man, when he accepts it, you just see it in his eyes. He believes it.
I just realized I'm wearing a shirt that I must have had in Greece, and my mommy washed it for me.
Because it smells like
yeah,
Grecian.
It smells like my mom's house in Greece.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
nice. You can't ever.
If you're noticing my calm demeanor this episode, it's because I'm thinking of mommy.
And if you're noticing mine, it's because I done quitted coffee. Yep, just tea, just black tea for this boy, this young man. Anyway, so we got to hand out these awards. First, we want to give a huge congratulations to Mark Zuckerkorn. He put his ass in a guy's face and what a medal for it.
Pretty sick.
Playing jujitsu. And this poor schmuck, I mean,
Dude,
look at him. You're the guy. Thank God his belt is obscuring his face.
A lot. They haven't really released this, but I have heard that is a Meta employee, so it does feel a little bit.
That he's got his, and yeah, you can see. Look at the face on Mark Zuckerkorn. He is really. Also, he is packing heat. He's got a caboose.
Oh yeah,
Look at
dude.
that thing.
I believe the kids are saying he's caked up.
Are they really? I mean, there is photographic evidence of it, so look no further. But man, that's got to suck to get your ass whipped by Mark Zuckerberg. Golly.
I'd sue him after.
Yeah.
Your Honor, he went way too hard.
For the audio listener, it is a photo of Mark Zuckerberg pinning a guy. It looks like the bully. It looks like the nerd fighting back, fighting the bully back finally. And the bully is surprised by the nerd's kind of like freak monkey strength. You know, all that pent up anger from being bullied so much.
He just drops.
You leave me alone.
He drops his books. He's going nuts.
Yeah, and he does the one thing that he knows how to do because his brothers always do it to him, which is pin him down and put your ass in his face. So we want to award him the medal.
The Medal of Valor.
The Medal of is it Valor? Did we say Valor?
That's what you said.
I thought it was Honor.
Oh
no. Okay, who knows? We'll have to run the tape back.
We're gonna have to confer with our team and figure it out.
But the
but
other,
he is getting a medal.
Yeah, he is getting a medal. Check it. It'll be in the mail. Yeah, Dianne Feinstein. We also
this one I don't.
We got to give her a.
I don't feel good about this one.
Man. Oh, it's a shame that she's not at the top of the stairs in the background there.
Ben, why?
And,
what is?
I mean,
you have such a.
I mean, look at this woman.
If anything, I feel bad for her. I don't want her to be pushed
totally.
downstairs. Why are we doing this to her? Let her go
it's
home.
not us doing it. She's doing it to us. Do
Yeah,
not
and
let that woman gaslight you.
And her congressional aides.
How does she not have a gray hair on her head? 89 years old.
Dye.
Oh, hair dye?
DYE.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, so just incredibly brave of this longtime California Democrat senator to selflessly continue to serve, even in her, some might say, crypt keeper-like decrepit old state. It is very brave of her to continue to serve the government, no doubt, to the best of her abilities, with all of her cognition intact. Thank you.
Kind of brave. I wouldn't be going to Congress. I'd say.
No, it's very brave.
I'd say I'm staying here with the milk and cookies.
Yeah, look at her. She's got one eye open in this picture.
Oh boy.
If I saw a great thing, I mean, if you wouldn't, we don't allow elderly people to, I mean, you wouldn't hire her to run a fucking cash register at a McDonald's.
I would let her run a cash register.
I sure as hell wouldn't.
Yeah, it is tough. We got all these. People are like, they protest in front of Congress, like we want to be able to retire and stuff, and you have just like the oldest motherfuckers in the world, like retire.
Yeah. God,
what is that?
I remember when they invented retiring. I voted against it. She probably fucking did. Anyway, we wish her all the best. Ding! Oh, the next medal goes to Tucker Carlson. All of these people are huge friends of the show. Including
Tucker actually called us when he left Fox News, and he was the first one to announce. He told us first what he was doing.
Yeah, he did, and we had to keep it secret.
He's taking a show off Fox. He's going to fucking Twitter, the last bastion of free speech.
Yeah. Wait, there's a 787. Oh yeah, the defamation lawsuit with Dominion. Oh man, he's just he's a real winner, and we love.
Dude, that video, it's probably got 20 million views at this point.
Oh, I think the impressions on it, which is I don't know if it's different from
Insane video where he's just like, nowadays, if you say gay on cable TV, they'll cancel you.
yeah, 25.3 million views. This is confusing. Then 121.6 million views. That just must be how many people viewed
saw
the tweet. Yeah,
and then 25 million people watched the video.
yeah.
Golly.
Well, this should be interesting.
Did you see Fox News numbers or like the ratings are tanking since he left?
Oh no, bummer. I hope they don't have to. I don't know. Fucking go out of business. So, who's the last person to get a Congressional Medal of Honor from us? That's it. So that was the first round of medal. We hope to give many more for.
They are costing us a fortune, though. We're probably going to use because they're solid gold.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like sell the.
We might be going gold plated after this.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna have to sell the copper piping in this building to
pay for the gold.
To pay for that. Hey guys, we want to take a quick break to thank another sponsor of today's episode, MoneyGram. We live in a world that's more digital than ever, with nearly every want or need just a tap away. And so many of our favorite digital services seamlessly meet the physical world when they're delivered to your front door, but until now, that hasn't been true for crypto.
Digital currencies have been tied up online with no easy way to bring them into the real world. That's why we're so excited to share that you can now cash in and out of select digital wallets at participating MoneyGram locations without a bank, credit card, or debit card.
It's the best thing to happen to bread since slicing it.
Get the only digital wallets with real cash access activated by MoneyGram. Learn more at moneygram.com/stellarwallets.
Oh, what's the other?
We wanted to do some quick Google I/O coverage.
So Google I/O is the annual conference that Google puts on. It's similar to Tesla's Investor Day, and it's just their annual thing where
the
they
Apple
talk
convention.
Yeah, the Apple thing, and we got this handy video that.
Yeah, they can explain it way better than we could.
It's a quick summary of everything.
Let's just get
from the thing.
right into it.
AI, generative AI, AI. It uses AI to bring AI.
Nice.
So there it is.
Yeah, that's Google I/O.
Yeah, pretty much everything that you need.
Do you know what the I/O stands for?
What does it stand for?
I'm pretty sure it's ones and zeros from.
Oh yeah, like an on and off. I thought I was gonna guess on and off switch, like on a computer. The old school, just I/O. Or, I think you're right though.
I thought it was ones and zeros.
I mean that also works. I kept thinking about that old Nelly song, E.I. Mama E.I.
Yeah, that's E.I. This is I/O.
Yeah, but then he was saying A.I.
Mama I/O.
Yeah, whoa, your lip just trembled there.
Whenever I think about Nelly, I get to trembling.
Yeah, I hope he's doing well. Hope he does something to earn a Trillionaire Mindset Congressional Medal of Valor. Freedom. Fuck. It's losing its value immediately because we can't even remember the name of it. I can't remember.
They're kind of worthless. They know they're worthless.
They are worthless. Speaking of worthless, how about that debt ceiling, man?
Yeah, what do we really want to talk about?
Yeah, we're gonna get into that debt ceiling.
What's the biggest story right now? The friggin'
It would
debt
have to
ceiling.
be the debt ceiling.
I tell you what, I don't even want to talk about it because it seems like it's always a story until it's not. They always work it out. But the problem is that every time it feels worse and worse. There's always the standoff about the debt ceiling, and if we do default on our debt, there are dire consequences.
Even if we come close, because if we come close, we could get downgraded again.
Right, I think in 2011.
Yeah, Moody's.
Yeah, we got downgraded.
Pretty moody of them, if you ask me.
For just a little bit, just for just coming close, Moody's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, the debt ceiling is a very silly, made-up thing that signifies the maximum amount we can borrow, right? The United States government spends more than they earn from taxes.
Very
right?
responsible, yes.
So you have to, well, it's not irresponsible. It's just, that's the way.
But it's stupid to put a cap on that then.
It is stupid. And for it first happened in 1917 during World War I, so we could spend more money than we were earning. And pretty much forever, it was like they would joke. It's just like a tradition. Oh, we're going to raise the debt limit. Like it's this stupid made up thing. But recently it has become a political tool for when an opposition party wants to. Democrats have done it. Republicans do it. Republicans are doing it right now. It's become a tool. You know, we have all these demands. Otherwise, we'll throw the economy into a tailspin and fucking wreck everyone's shit.
Yeah, that would wreck their own demands too. Completely. Yeah.
And just to be clear, so what's happening is Kevin McCarthy and House Republicans are holding up negotiations to raise the debt limit, and so they're saying we have to come up with a new budget that has a bunch of their demands in it, including a bunch of social spending cuts. They want it's always like work requirements for welfare recipients and stuff.
All things that Biden has said he's holding firm on. He is not going to budge.
I think they want to expand fossil fuel production. And if anyone watched the Trump, what was it, a town hall on CNN last night? He said, did you see? He was like,
he thinks that McCarthy should call his bluff and push
he said, just let him default, which is wild. Okay. Cause I don't know if people really know what's going to happen. Like, so they estimate GDP would drop 4%. Even if there's just a brief default. Yeah. You're talking about 2 million jobs going away.
Yeah.
If it's more serious, over 7 million jobs, they estimate.
Jesus.
Gone.
Yeah. Well, they also don't really, these are all estimates because they have admittedly, all the experts say we don't really know what would happen because it's never happened.
Right. But I mean, if we don't have the money to pay for these things, then, you have government programs that millions of people rely on.
Right.
Are not going to be funded. Okay. Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, veterans benefits,
military pay,
SNAP benefits. Yeah. Federal salaries.
Everything.
Yeah.
And not to mention the reverberating effects that would be felt around the world when the world's reserve currency suddenly plummets in value.
Right.
So, not a whole lot on the line if you really think about it.
Yeah. Well, that's what's crazy to me. So they were talking about how, so it was, what's today? Thursday? It was Tuesday, or no, was it yesterday or Tuesday? Yesterday, I can't remember. Tuesday or Wednesday, Biden met with the four leaders in Congress. It was Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Hakeem Jeffries, and Kevin McCarthy. And they talked about how they hadn't met to discuss this since February.
Awesome.
And it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, because we hit the limit on January 19th.
Right.
We actually hit the limit, and the Treasury Department has been deploying what it calls extraordinary measures, which are basically accounting tools and tricks that curb certain government investments and prioritize things so that bills can continue to be paid. But Janet Yellen, the Secretary of the Treasury, has said that those extraordinary measures are set to kind of run out and expire by June.
June 1st.
June 1st.
Yeah. He said, so Biden said out of the 5 of them, there was 3 people. 3 out of the 5 said, okay, look, defaulting is off the table. It's not an option. And it's like, okay, who were the 2?
Yeah.
I kind of have a feeling it was Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it'd probably be those 2.
Also, quit being such a bitch and just name them. If I was the president, I'd be like, yeah, these motherfuckers said they're going to ruin our lives.
Yeah, no kidding. That is kind of weird. Maybe it's a power move to just kind of be like, yeah, you guys figure out who it might be.
But it's not at all. Like if Trump was the president, he would fully come out and be like,
"That's true.
You know who's trying to ruin?"
Yeah.
Which is the move. You should do that. Yeah. You should be like this. You should name the people who are potentially going to cause you a lot of harm.
Also, just to really quick piggyback off of what we were saying about what could happen, Janet Yellen herself in January wrote to Congress and said, quote, "Failure to meet the government's obligations would cause irreparable harm to the U.S. economy, the livelihoods of all Americans, and global financial stability."
Yeah, they asked her. So they're talking about, what's going to happen? What are the consequences and everything? And she was basically just like, it's not even worth discussing. Like, it would be so bad.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about what's going to, like, they just need to fix it.
Yeah. And because what happened to like Argentina, Greece, sorry.
Cut that.
When they couldn't pay their debts, things. And so if you had to guess, do you know what the national debt is without looking? Because I have it written.
Yeah,
there.
I know. Already.
Fuck, I was gonna have you guess.
It's like 31.5 trillion.
It is 31 trillion. The cap is set at 31.381 trillion. I remember back in the day when it was like 12 trillion. Boy, those were the days.
Yeah.
Or the Clinton administration when it was a surplus and we had extra money. Wasn't it a surplus back then? It was a budget surplus.
Yeah, we didn't spend more than we. Wait. You think Clinton fixed it and then we just?
Yeah, I thought that we didn't have a national debt. Like,
no.
at that
For
point.
like the year, I think there was a budget surplus.
Got it. Okay. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, now they're weighing all the options. There aren't great options. They can do like extraordinary measures and start trying to figure out who can get paid.
Bondholders would be first.
Right.
Treasuries. The Federal Reserve could come in and buy some of those and take those over. I mean, there are.
Right. They could find some short-term solution to extend the limit so they can negotiate further.
Right.
The $1 trillion coin, which we probably won't go into right now. If you want, I think it's our second episode. We discussed the $1 trillion coin. It's funny watching journalists and stuff ask him about the $1 trillion coin. He's basically said it's off the table.
Mm-hmm.
But that would essentially, it's a loophole, meaning that we would mint a $1 trillion platinum coin and the Fed would have to accept it. And it would basically do away with the debt limit.
Right.
And then there's another one where, so they're, getting creative. There's a thing in the 14th Amendment that Biden is actually saying he's thinking about invoking, where it basically states that the validity of U.S. debt shall not be questioned. So basically invoking the Constitution and saying that, America will not default on its debt and the debt limit does not have to be.
But didn't he admittedly say that would just be kicking the can down the road? Because it likely would end up failing.
He said not that it would fail. He said that it would probably be litigated. So it probably wouldn't be a solution right now because there's going to be all kinds of legal challenges to it.
Right.
But that's where I get fucking frustrated. It's like, okay, so why weren't you talking about this in February, March, April? You dumb motherfucker.
He had other things to do. He had ice cream to eat.
Yeah.
And
so now everyone's wondering if America's going to fucking blink.
I can tell you right now what's going to happen.
I feel like I could tell you what's going to happen too.
Fucking nothing. It's going to come down to the wire, or at least close to the wire, and it will be raised or suspended because it has always been. The track record is 100% of the time it always gets raised or suspended.
Yeah,
In fact, 78 times since 1960 was it raised and suspended 7 times since 2013.
Yeah, but see, I don't think that's the... I think you're right that it will be raised, but I think it's the terms that it gets raised on, right? So that's the problem, is that Biden is probably going to cave because the Republicans are nuts and they go, I don't give a fuck.
The only thing I saw him caving on was COVID budgeting for COVID, fighting COVID or whatever. There's like $18 billion or something earmarked for COVID prevention. And
but what is it today? March 11th or something?
Yeah, it's May.
There's time for him to...
You were wrong by 2 months.
Did I say March?
Yeah, you said March.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, now who needs a fucking brain scan?
Well, you know what it was?
Me.
We were talking about February, March, April.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Give me a break. Now, cut that out, though.
Janet, some people are saying, including Janet Yellen, that we should get rid of the debt limit entirely, in part because the argument is that it is inherently harmful to the U.S. economy because it functions primarily to restrict borrowing that finances previous commitments. So, yeah, why would you sign up to say, hey, we're going to pay for $2 trillion worth of stuff, but the debt limit is at 1.8? Like, come on.
Right. And it's important to note that raising the debt limit does not authorize new spending.
Sure. It covers existing commitments.
I guess she's also calling CEOs and stuff to tell them about the absolute hellscape that
which is
will
weird.
enter.
Like, what does that do? You
I actually don't
warn?
think it's weird, because who really calls the shots? Who's doing all the lobbying? CEOs, businesses.
Yeah.
So she's basically trying to be like, yo, call your fucking boys.
Yeah.
Tell
Your Republican friends.
Tell them to get their fucking act together.
Yeah. That's why I think McCarthy's going to cave. I think the Republicans have a lot more to lose. You don't want to get blamed for being the ones. Not only are you the ones.
I still think they'd blame Joe Biden.
Yeah, but how? They're calling for.
Because their whole shit is acting in bad faith, right? Like they're talking about how worried about the debt they are. I've never heard them bring up the Trump tax cuts from, what was it, 2018, which, depending on which study you go by, raised the debt by like $2 to $4 trillion. But it doesn't fucking matter, right? 85% of those tax cuts went to the wealthy. So it's like, whatever. Okay, but it's like we need to get our spending in line, meaning, we need to cut Social Security, we need to cut Medicare and Medicaid, we need to make sure, if people are receiving welfare, that we harass them habitually. It's never like, oh my God, we need to fucking roll back all of these Trump tax cuts.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we're
military spending.
Yeah, it's never that.
Yeah. That's why I think that it's going to bite them in the ass if they not only were to tank the economy, but tank it because they wanted to gut social programs. Like, how fucking soulless and spineless can you be?
It doesn't matter, though. It's always like, I don't know. No one's talking about that. They're just like, they're protecting us from the woke liberal mob.
Thank God. Someone's got to.
Someone's got to protect us.
They're doing
from
God's work.
The woke liberal mob.
Man. I mean, think about it. If nobody stopped Bud Light from making fucking gay beer.
If it was up to Joe Biden, every goddamn Bud Light can would have a rainbow flag on it.
Oh, yeah. And your children would be drinking it and immediately wanting to go into interior design. They'd be serving it at schools nationwide.
You'd be hiding booze from your kids for a whole nother reason.
Yeah. Yeah, truly.
Honey, lock the liquor cabinet. It might make our kids gay.
Shit. I think that the Republicans are going to start to get pressure from like the guy was saying on the radio on the drive over here. They're going to get pressure from donors and all these people who have.
I think that's
who don't want the fucking economy to collapse.
I think that's the real. Right. That's the real hope, is that like it'll come from donors and lobbyists rather than, I can't imagine.
Well, that's who props
supporters.
These people up.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, I think Janet Yellen is making the prudent political move, whereas I don't know what the fuck Joe Biden's doing. Dude, get out there. Be like, Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy are like, default is an absolute option.
I'm just so tired of this. I'm tired of these people running the country. Do you like I'm seeing a lot more.
Do I like
let me get it. RFK Jr. I was reading more about him.
Sure.
And his thing, and there was another big politician or talking head saying the same thing, that the answer is to stop the Imperial Project. And like, we have how many military bases around the world? Like 600,
800, I think.
800?
Somewhere between 700 and 800.
Yeah, maybe we ought to do something about that. Maybe
so do I like
shouldn't do
what?
that anymore. Like, send the boys home.
Yeah, but what was your question? Do I like?
Oh, do you like his platform about that? Because I haven't read hardly
Robert
anything about
F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's a problem with him that you know about that I don't, because you are way more politically involved than I am. But
no, I'll tell you, it's like, it feels like he's
nuts.
No, I don't know. Every time I listen to him, I'm like, he's kind of speaking my language.
Oh, sure, that's great.
Yeah, and he's invoking like all the shit about like,
Didn't he say that the CIA?
They got my uncle. And
yeah.
Also, the funniest tweet I've seen about it was the CIA now has an opportunity to do the absolute funniest thing ever.
Yeah, to kill him.
But
after naming the CIA and blaming them for for everything, including and especially his uncle's assassination. If you don't know who his uncle is, it's John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've been watching some of his stuff. People say he has weird stuff about vaccines, but that's the thing. I looked into it a little bit. It seems more like he's, again, I haven't looked into it enough to like give him a, like approval, but it seemed more like he was talking about big pharma and stuff, which is like, that's not that crazy to not be super stoked about big pharma. But yeah, all the stuff he's talking about with Empire and the intelligence community, and I'm like, dude, they're gonna get your ass.
Yeah, they really are.
But like,
well, the problem though is that
someone should be talking about it.
yes,
I don't know. Got to see a little bit more from him, but every time it's like, I'm like, God damn, I can't believe he's saying that.
yeah, it's very refreshing. But the problem is that we still have Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee. So here's what I think. I think that we ought to have we ought to put on a fundraiser for Joe Biden and invite him and some other prominent Democratic figures. I don't know, maybe Dianne Feinstein, and have him play a game of Twister.
Like as like a sexy thing.
No, as like because can you imagine old people playing Twister? Bad. I mean, it's dangerous. That'd be so dangerous.
It would be dangerous.
You slip and you fall the wrong way on your head. It's game over.
I'm not going along with this.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it's just it's a game.
I also don't know much about RFK Jr.'s career. I
don't care.
I do. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
at this point,
when the thing with Bernie was that people could kind of look back at his record and be like, oh shit, he's been saying the same thing for fucking decades. He's been on the front lines of all this stuff. He's been standing with workers, whatever.
Should we look real fast?
No,
his Wikipedia?
It's not worth it. We don't have to do a whole RFK. I mean, even I wouldn't be able to tell just from his Wikipedia page. But even that's the thing, yeah, I don't know. With the Kennedy brothers, they had a whole kind of a weird history too. I mean, they both fucking worked on they were legislative aides for fucking Joe McCarthy. Not a great start to your political career. But then they, grew a lot. I'd like to see what his background's like before.
What's with the redhead Kennedy? How's he related?
That motherfucker.
How is he? Is
I
he
hate
Joe?
That motherfucker.
Is he
Joe Kennedy
Joe
the third. Yes.
How is he related to RFK? Cousins?
No, that's got to be his nephew. Well, I guess like maybe a second cousin or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If I see that motherfucker Joe Kennedy out,
What do you not like about him? Is it red hair? Oh man, yeah.
Who did he challenge in 2020? He fucking left.
He looks like a royalty.
Yeah. He left. Who did he challenge?
Yeah, he
For
ran.
Senate?
He ran for Congress.
Ed Markey?
Yes, he tried to fucking beat Ed Markey. Oh my God! And he left. He left his position and then lost it. Oh my God!
Wait, I don't understand.
Okay, so in 2020 he wanted to challenge Ed Markey.
Okay.
And he was maybe a.
Oh God!
Was he a
the
congressperson?
Fuck. I don't know.
Sorry, this was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just like a smug little. I mean, why would you challenge someone who's got a good record and is like a progressive?
Oh, okay. So Ed Markey was
right, and he's like, I'm a Kennedy, I deserve it.
Yeah. What is he doing now? Consulting?
Fucking probably.
Like when you lose he's a Kennedy.
Stanford
so
ass, Harvard ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
He's part of the United States Special Envoy for Northern Ireland.
Oh, good. I guess
know.
Biden hooked him up with a.
Yeah. A member. Oh, he's a member of the.
No, he was.
Oh, was.
So he
21.
left. He left to run for Senate.
And then he lost. Okay. All right. Well, good for him. We wish him good luck, and all the Kennedys. May the curse not.
Well, that's another thing people keep
follow
bringing
you.
up. So there are a bunch of Kennedys who are not supporting RFK. They said they don't support his run or whatever. And they keep bringing that up. They're like, curious that your own family hates your guts, Robert. Care to comment? And he's just like, we don't agree on everything.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, let's shift gears, shall we? Let's take a breath. Remembering that Bible quote, it's giving me power.
Satan.
Going
all up and down the earth.
We ask for your help. Wonder where he is now. Anyway, the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meeting was this last weekend in Omaha, Nebraska. And if you don't know what Berkshire Hathaway is, it is the giant conglomerate holding company that is run by Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, his best bud, Charlie Munger.
You might see them at one of Ben's Twister games.
Yeah. Charlie Munger is the Walking Dead. He's 99 years old. He is, I mean, you got to give the guy credit. 90-fucking-9. And then Warren Buffett is, I think, 96 or something like that, which is fucking insane. I thought he was in his 80s.
They look great.
That's
a trillionaire mindset. Salute.
Yeah, he gets an honorary Medal of Freedom. But so I just thought that it was kind of cool because they every year they do this thing. They own so many companies and stakes in so many companies. Famously, they own like See's candies, so they're always eating See's candies. But they do these. A lot of
people are wondering if that's the key to long life.
To longevity? It's that and cherry. Doesn't he drink
Coke,
cherry Coke?
Whatever.
Yeah, he drinks like 4 cherry Cokes a day. But they have a $347 billion portfolio, most of which is actually just 11 stocks. Apple alone paid $214 million in dividends this quarter to Berkshire Hathaway, and they have a whopping $160
That's what I kind of hate.
billion in cash.
They're always like, how to trade like Warren Buffett, and then you look at his holdings and it's like Apple, Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
Blue Cross Blue Shield or something.
Well, and part of the thing is, I was not only looking at the origins of Berkshire Hathaway and all that shit, but just they do a Q&A session with all these investors. But he was commenting, Warren Buffett was talking about banking and how it relates to insurance. And he was saying that banking sucks because you get this money from depositors and stuff, and you're meant to do things with that money. That's how bankers make their money. They loan it out and all that shit. But that comes with pitfalls, of course. You got to pay dividends, you got to pay interest, all sorts of shit. Risk, yeah. And I mean, you look at what happened with the banks. Whereas,
just look at what happened with them.
Look at what happened with the banks. But insurance is different. With insurance, people pay their premiums, and then the insurance company can it's called the float. That money that they then get is called the float, and they can invest that however they see fit.
And they can refuse to pay your claims.
Yeah. Well, they'll fight you on that shit, tooth and nail. But they don't have to pay out until someone files a claim. And I think it was in the...
And sometimes when they do, they don't have to pay still.
That's true. That's true. Like I said, they will fight you. Not AAA, though. They sure paid me out quick for that Volvo. I love them. But so one of the things that they did, and one of their biggest secrets, not even secret, has been doing insurance, acquiring insurance companies, and then using that money to then invest. And like in the 90s, Berkshire bought just like $2 billion worth of, maybe $3 billion total, 1.5 each to Coca-Cola and American Express. And now they're worth like, those positions are worth like $45 billion. And like, sure, okay, to what you just said, I mean, I know you're talking about how they're boring, but in my mind...
No, not boring. It's just like...
Yeah, you did it in the 90s.
Right. You're not.
Where are you going to get that again?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, when you've got Rivian going public for $120 fucking billion.
Right. I'm not saying it's boring. I'm just saying like that's not an option for you.
I'd like to see a young Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger do what they did today.
Right.
Put them in a time machine or inject them with fucking what's the thing that the QAnon people say that they drink baby blood for? Adrenochrome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, inject them with some adrenochrome, Benjamin Button their asses, and let's see them do that again. They probably could. But Charlie Munger himself said value investors are going to have a harder time now that there are so many of them competing for a diminished set of opportunities. And he said, get used to making less. Very uplifting shit. Awesome. Something that I've been harping on for the last decade is just it feels increasingly like it is harder and harder to find opportunities because it is becoming so much more impacted. There are so many more people out there, so many smart people with so many tools available to them. It's more competitive than ever. Fuck. And he goes on to say, I think the solution of having a huge proportion of the young and brilliant people all go into wealth management is a crazy development in terms of its consequences for American civilization. We don't need as many wealth managers as we have. I agree with you, Charlie Munger.
I am surprised. But so what's he saying, though, is that
there's just too many people who are wanting to get rich and wanting to chase after that life. And he calls out the bankers. Like he said, I remember when bankers
right,
used
but
to
he's
be...
saying a huge proportion of young and brilliant people going into wealth management. Are there more and more people going into wealth management right now?
Maybe.
I find that odd. I'd like to see the numbers on that. Like, for example, I was just reading something about less and less young law school graduates want to go work for big law because when you go work for a big law firm, you're often representing corporations and, just generally fucking people over. And people are saying, we want to go do things that have a social impact and that kind of thing. So I'm wondering if there are more and more young people going into wealth management.
I blindly trust what he says.
No,
I'm sure that the data that he's got, I don't know, maybe it's, what's that word? Anecdotal.
Yeah.
But he did talk about how bankers, he said they should be more like engineers, looking at how to stay out of trouble instead of getting fabulously rich. Totally agree with that. I mean, that's...
I'd love to see someone heed that advice. Yeah, shut up, Charlie. We're ruining the American economy again.
Yeah. I liked what he said about, they had some comments on AI, which was that basically, like everybody's saying, it's going to change the world in ways that we can't possibly fathom or predict right now, but quite astute. I liked that he said, I think it was Warren Buffett said, AI can change everything in the world except how we behave. So it will, the greed and the fear will never.
That's
ever
actually not
change.
true, Charlie. I've built a virtual girlfriend out of AI, and she's always home with me, and she keeps me on top of my shit. It's actually great.
What's her name?
Her name is Melinda, and
That's weird.
why?
My high school girlfriend's name,
Well, that's my AI girlfriend's name,
Melinda.
and she's always like, "You never take out the trash. It stinks in here."
She can smell?
I guess so.
Or she can just sense it.
Maybe she can sense it.
Yeah.
I put in some kind of sniff plug-in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can adjust the levels of like attitude, humor, like the robot in Interstellar.
Yeah, but I'm way up on attitude.
Yeah. You like that though. You like attitude.
I like when Melinda gives me lip. All right. I'm doing it.
What else was there with these old farts?
These old farts.
See, this is the consequence of me not having coffee. But I actually feel better.
I feel better.
I feel so much stronger and more awake. I need some of that nicotine gum, I tell you.
We got to get you like a nice breakfast that would really...
I had a banana and a
energy.
Belvita.
No, see, that's not what I'm talking about.
What do you think I should have?
Like something like...
Oatmeal?
I wouldn't mind you eating some oatmeal.
Avocado toast?
Maybe.
I'll have some next time.
I'd do a nice yogurt, a Greek yogurt. Get my cultures activating.
Of course.
Some granola.
Some active cultures.
Fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Greek honey.
Very good. Well, anyway.
And that's how I feel good.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with all this cash.
What you gonna do with all that cash?
They're never gonna pay a dividend again. Warren Buffett said that they paid a dividend once and it was a huge mistake. I don't know why. I don't understand why. And yeah, they're probably just going to be on the lookout to swoop up some more companies at some point. So
We're looking to swoop, baby.
that should be fun. Oh, and they've got their successors named, and they said that they have 100% faith
won't
in
tell us
them.
who it is?
No, they did. It was some guy named Ajit John or something is going to head all the insurance stuff, and then some white man in his 50s or something is going to
What makes you think Ajit's not white?
just a wild guess.
Oh,
I think he might be of Indian descent.
with a last name like John?
It's like Jean, Jean. I could be getting it wrong, but anywho, let's see.
Don't assume things. Can we get into the Elizabeth Holmes
Yes,
stuff?
of course. Who is Elizabeth Holmes?
You guys know who Elizabeth Holmes is. She was the head of Theranos.
Okay, what was Theranos?
The revolutionary
Blood testing.
Yeah, they were going to build a machine that would they were going to save everyone's lives, all right? We would maybe not have to say goodbye to our loved ones so soon with the help of a Theranos device that could prick your finger and take that tiny drop of blood and tell you if you have a whole wide variety of diseases, or it could even tell you were about to have a miscarriage if you actually had a healthy pregnancy, which was kind of a cool thing they figured out they could do.
Yeah, things that otherwise would take vials and vials worth of blood they could assess with merely a
No, but they
drop.
couldn't. That's the point.
Yeah, I know, but that was the lie that they sold.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, there was that woman. They told her she was going to miscarry. She didn't. I think there was one woman they told that she had HIV when she did not.
Which is pretty good news, actually. If you give them the bad stuff first, I'd be like, wow, thanks, Theranos.
Yeah, I guess you might get a new lease on life after that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think they were misdiagnosing cancer patients. The whole thing was a total fraud. The machine couldn't do what it said it could do. And yeah, when it became apparent that it was not going to work out, she just decided to plow ahead and mislead investors and defraud them. And she ended up getting indicted, and I believe she's getting sent to jail for 11 years.
Wow.
And her co-founder
And former boyfriend.
he's currently serving a 13-year sentence.
Jesus.
And so she has not been sent to jail yet. She has been delaying it. And the New York Times put out a lovely little article. I didn't know. I think we might have maybe we had Elizabeth Holmes wrong the whole time. So it was called Liz Holmes Wants You to Forget About Elizabeth. The black turtlenecks are gone. So is the voice. As the convicted Theranos founder awaits prison, she has adopted a new persona. Devoted mother. Okay, and also, so this is I'm blanking on her name. If you can see her name, this is the woman who was covering Hillary Clinton for the New York Times for
Amy Chozick?
Amy Chozick, yeah. So she's good at kind of sniffing out bullshit. And,
Okay.
and I think she's putting out a book on her time with, on her time following Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail and everything. But so now she's doing her crack journalism with Elizabeth Holmes. And so I was surprised. I never knew if the voice was actually, I think for a while she was saying the voice was real, but in this she says, in case you're wondering, Miss Holmes speaks in a soft, slightly low, but totally unremarkable voice. No hint of the throaty contralto she used while running her defunct blood testing startup.
Right, because that was part of the thing. She had idolized Steve Jobs, going so far as to even wear his trademark turtleneck, black turtlenecks, but she changed her voice as well and talked like this. My name is Elizabeth Holmes, and I'm going to revolutionize the blood testing industry. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And it was just a total psychopath move. So now she's trying to save face by
now she's
owning up to that it was bullshit and saying, I'm actually just a normal woman and I'm a mom and my name is Liz, who's going to prison.
Right. I think she had 2 kids after she had been indicted and probably knew she was going to be going to jail.
Why are they putting this out when she's about to spend the next decade in prison?
Because
why
the New York,
do it when you get out of prison?
The New York Times would like to rehabilitate
her image.
fraudster. Can we see what else there is? There's some funny stuff in here.
Jesus, 10 years ago, she was worth $4.5 billion on paper in Theranos stock.
Oh, perfect.
Because
It's here.
Theranos ran up to a $9 billion valuation. Can you believe that shit? Holy God. Oy vey.
Oh, what, the $4.5 billion?
Yeah, that she was worth. I wonder how much of that she had ended up cashing out. Well, either way, it all went kaput. But she founded Theranos at 19.
Right. So why did she create that public persona? I believed it would be how I would be good at business and taken seriously, not taken as a little girl or a girl who didn't have good technical ideas. Maybe people picked up on that not being authentic since it wasn't. Yeah, some alarm bells might be going off of, hello.
Yeah. Are you 19? Yes.
I'm going to change the world.
I'm going to change the world with this blood testing. She was apparently, I mean, if you watch the Hulu show, which I did, and it was really good, the machine worked one time, which is probably a fluke. It worked a single time.
Right. I mean, apparently it's really tragic. There's what is the guy's name? Ian something. It was her head scientist. He killed himself with like painkillers and alcohol, I think,
Right.
Around the time that she was pressuring him to just move ahead with everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, it doesn't work. The tech is not there. It's not going to
Right.
happen. I don't know if that was because his wife apparently still holds her responsible. And I guess she was really cold around the whole thing. The only response the wife got was a Theranos employee being like, we're going to be coming to pick up his computer and materials.
Jesus. I understand. I mean, just give me a break here when I say this, but I understand what Elizabeth Holmes was doing. She was trying to do what a lot of tech people do in certain cases, which is fake it till you make it.
Right.
It's getting the funding, selling the idea, and then making the technology work after the fact.
Right.
Because it looked like it was working at first, which got all these investors on board. And I mean, look at the same thing happened with Nikola, the hydrogen-powered semi-truck company that at once was a Wall Street darling and then completely fucking floundered. Elon Musk did it. He skated by on vaporware and smoke and mirrors, and it worked out for him.
Right.
She was hoping to replicate that success, but God, can you imagine living in a world where instead of this happening, Elon Musk is in jail and going, I want to be called L.
I also I just find it kind of strange that she's copping to how much this is just like a complete fabrication. You know, she said, like the black turtlenecks, the kabuki red lipstick, the green juices, the dancing to Lil Wayne. Somewhere along the way, Miss Holmes says that the person got lost. At one point, I tell her that I heard Jennifer Lawrence had pulled out of portraying her in a movie. She replied almost reflectively, "They're not playing me. They're playing a character I created."
This isn't going to help get you out of prison. I feel like
I feel like it is working for some people. They're like, oh, she's just a mom just like me. The amount of time she said, like, if you didn't know it was Elizabeth Holmes, you would think it was just another mom in a bucket hat getting a smoothie.
But I thought when is she going to prison?
I don't know. They keep pushing it off. I guess she keeps I don't know exactly what's going on with the...
Wait, I'm not ready. She told him she's not ready.
Like the last statement I saw, there was a big push like, I don't understand what you're doing, more harm than good by sending her to prison. She has 2 children that need her mother, blah, blah, which is like, fine. I don't fucking care if she goes to prison. I don't know if that's like
I don't care
the solution here.
She didn't hurt me.
It's just a strange, you never hear people talk about this with like, a lower income person who was like stealing diapers or something. They're like, kill them. We need to kill them. It's the only way they'll learn their lesson. And so like this whole thing to just like rehabilitate this woman who was messing with people's health and all this thing is just like, there are just all these like, they just want you to think she's so on the second day we spent together, Mr. Evans, her new partner, she fell in love after the whole thing blew up. Mr. Evans asked me what the most surprising part of spending so much time with Miss Holmes was. I told him it's that I didn't... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. What's the most surprising part of spending so much time with her? I told him it's that I didn't expect her to be so normal. Can you believe it? I realized I was essentially writing a story about 2 different people. There was Elizabeth celebrated in the media as the rock star inventor whose brilliance dazzled illustrious rich men. Oh, it's also important to know she really did dazzle. Rupert Murdoch invested $125 million in Theranos.
There was that former attorney general or something?
There was a retired four-star Marine Corps general.
Right.
James Mad Dog Mattis.
I think there was someone else who was...
A real who's who of psychopaths. But Rupert Murdoch called himself one of a bunch of old men taken in by a seemingly great young woman. Total embarrassment.
Yeah, he invested $125 million.
Poor Rupert Murdoch.
Poor
Will anyone
guy.
think of Rupert Murdoch?
God, is he dead yet? Is he alive? He's still alive.
No, he's alive.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Good for him.
The way
Glad-
they met, the way they met is very strange too. Rich people. There's something I've said it before.
They meet at a Twister game?
Basically, in 2017, as Theranos faced an onslaught of legal challenges, both civil and criminal, Miss Holmes moved to San Francisco, where she met a recent MIT grad and entrepreneur, Billy Evans, at a house party during Fleet Week to benefit wounded warriors. Mr. Evans had gone out to get ice for a party he was hosting, so he left his own party to get ice.
Okay.
And a friend texted to ask if he was going to the benefit, so he agreed to swing by for a few minutes, and he never made it back to his party. My friends were texting, "Where are you? We're here." He's like, "I'm talking to Elizabeth Holmes. I'm falling in love with her."
Oh, my God.
The voice is actually not real.
He said that?
No.
Oh.
But I'd imagine you have to text your friends, "Hey, sorry, the ice isn't coming. I met Elizabeth Holmes."
Yeah, it sounds like he probably got a little turned on by, even though so at this point, she was outed as a fraud.
Yep, all the stuff. The Wall Street Journal article came out in like 2015, and then I think the investigation started in 2016. So by 2017, I'm pretty sure it all started imploding. And then you know where they went?
Where? The
Burning Man.
Oh.
Like any good tech entrepreneur.
They went to Burning Man
Yeah.
together? Did they say what drugs they did?
No, but they burned a tribute to Theranos.
Oh, they did that in the beginning of the Hulu show. That's right. She writes something on the thing, and yeah, that's sweet. That's special. That's an eternal bond for those two.
I don't trust this guy.
What does he do?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So she asks him, "Mr. Evans took a few calls for work while I was visiting. I asked what he does. A lot of different stuff, investing, starting companies." What? What does that mean, pal?
He's the new, I'm trying to be the new Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, me? I'm going to start saying that. What do I do? Investing. A lot of different stuff, really. I'm starting companies.
In the lower income brackets, that means you sell drugs. In the upper income brackets, it means you're
What does it mean?
trying to
Maybe
get
his
the
rich
sex
parents?
trafficking. I don't know.
Maybe his rich parents?
Probably.
They did say his parents are hoteliers.
Okay, yeah. Oh my God.
That is a good... If you're wealthy already, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Sure, they've all failed. None have turned a profit.
And my wife is going to prison for fraud.
There's an insane story about their kid getting sick. She said their toddler William recently had a 105-degree fever. The couple said they raced him to the emergency room. The first thing the attending doctor said was, "You look a lot like that horrible woman." Which I doubt is true. I doubt he said, I'm sure he recognized her, but there's no way he said, "You look a lot like
There's no
that."
way.
And then he said, Miss Holmes looked at him with her piercing blue eyes and she said, "I'm sure you're a better person than she." Oh, this is the doctor still. "I'm sure you're a better person than she is." The doctor seemed to realize who he was talking to. She continued. Then he said, "Are you Elizabeth Holmes?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I'm so sorry." And I said, "Don't be. All you know is what you've read." There's no way that something like that might have happened. There's no way you just said, imagine,
Hey, are you like that? Hey, your kid's sick, but hey, you look a lot like that dumb asshole bitch.
You look like that horrible woman.
Yeah. Anybody ever tell you that? You look like that asshole woman? You know, the one that everybody hates.
Incredible.
You are her? Oh.
Incredible bedside manner.
Someone else has to take care of your kid. Ugh. I remember when I first heard the term bedside manner, I overheard my sister and my mom talking about like some doctor that my sister was seeing, and my sister said, "He's got great bedside manner," and my little kid brain goes, "Is this doctor fucking my sister?"
Holy shit.
Because bedside manner, I didn't know what it meant. Like, you fuck in a bed. usually.
I'm fucking this horrible woman.
Well, I think that about wraps it up.
No. There's more. Ready? Because this is my favorite part.
What? Is there really?
Yeah.
Wow. Her kid hates her.
This is a fucking 5,000 word rehabilitation of Elizabeth Holmes. They talk to her family. It's very great.
Okay, what's the best part?
By Billy's father, William L. Evans's tally, there are over 7.6 million web results on Miss Holmes, all of them negative, compared with 21 million results, many of which are positive, for Osama bin Laden.
What is his point?
He's saying that it's fucked up that nearly all of the search results for Elizabeth Holmes are negative.
How can you glean that they're all positive?
What
did he Google? Osama bin Laden is good?
Also, not to pick nits here.
Uh-huh. No, pick him.
But your daughter-in-law made a thing that didn't work, okay?
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden, famous for having a plan that did work, okay? So maybe that's why there's some positive results. Not saying that I'm viewing it positively, but I'm sure there are a lot of people around the world who might view that positively.
I'm so proud of you for that. That was so good. Yeah.
You have to admit, when it comes to executing a plan.
Yeah. Arguably one of the hardest plans to ever be executed.
Truly. I mean, you're talking, this guy, what did he train 19 guys?
He didn't. Americans did, which is the fucked up part.
Right.
He got Americans to play themselves.
She couldn't even figure out if you had cancer or not.
Yeah, that's a good place to end the show. I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little more.
Actually, they did fail, the one in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. We got him.
Okay, he's 3 for 4. Elizabeth's 0 for 1.
What else is there? What do you got?
So this is great. A bunch of people wrote in letters to the judge. And so she's got people dating back to her childhood, and she said, this is very funny. This is from her childhood friend. Theranos, and more of a message to ambitious women everywhere. Don't girl.
I think I know exactly what you're going to say. Do not tell me it's a real quote. Don't girl boss too close to the sun.
Don't girl boss too close to the sun, or this could happen to you. There's an unspoken lesson for female executives. You're allowed to be successful, but not too successful, which is crazy. Okay, so this is a sorority sister of Miss Holmes. But she wasn't successful. She didn't do it. That's a fucking crazy thing to say.
She girl boss too close to the sun.
But yeah, that is our recommendation to everyone. Do not girl boss too close to the sun.
Yeah, don't do it. Go in orbit around the moon. Just don't get too close to that sun.
And then lastly, there's just a crazy story about her. She got a dog.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what this is, but maybe this is like her tenacity.
Who paid this writer? Someone paid her.
The New York Times.
Yeah, well, no shit the New York Times paid her. She's on their payroll, but...
I can't shake an earlier story that Mr. Evans relayed. In the waning days of Theranos, Miss Holmes got a dog, a Siberian husky named Balto. Last year, when a mountain lion carried Balto away from the porch, Miss Holmes spent 16 hours searching in the woods, digging through brambles and poison oak, hoping to find him alive. Everyone knew Balto was dead, but Miss Holmes kept searching. The relentlessness, the certainty, the fanaticism, it's the same way Miss Holmes kept hanging on at Theranos. I think he's trying to say that she's ferocious and tenacious and she'll never give up. I think, but it's even stupider. It's no, dude. She doesn't know when to quit. She's digging through poison oak for a dead dog.
Yeah.
Everyone knew Balto was dead.
Yeah.
And the best part is you think, oh, maybe he's going to come back to it. And it's maybe the moral of the story is that she does find Balto and she saves his life, right? Wouldn't that be nice?
No.
Miss Holmes eventually
she killed Balto.
Miss Holmes eventually found her. She eventually found her beloved husky Balto in the woods. By then, the dog was gone, torn apart by the mountain lion. Oh my God! The call's coming from inside the house. And then it says, over antioxidant smoothies, Miss Holmes told me she has ideas for COVID testing. Oh, please let her create COVID tests from jail.
Oh man, yeah.
Let her rally the women's prison around to build COVID tests for all of us.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. I know I sure have. Stay tuned for After Hours, where we're going to be tearing apart that Trump. Oh man, the Trump CNN town hall was. It was perfection. It was true artistry, and I can't wait. Thanks, everyone.
We love you. Goodbye.
This week on After Hours. He should be invited to the Twister game.
Yeah, get him at your Twister game.
Get him at my Twister game.
I don't want to go, man. That thing sounds like a mess.
Nah, it'll be fun. You lube up the mat without the participants knowing.
No. I'll check in. I'll call later. I say, how's it going over there?
Their old ligaments and bones cannot handle it.
Do you think it was like weird to be around him?
Yes, 100%.
That he seemed so normal.
Yeah, he did. Did you see the one where he's talking about a woman's titties? Google Michael Jackson titties. Trust me, it's fine. It's fine.
Trust me, it's fine. It's fine.
Sign up on tmgstudios.tv to watch the full bonus episode.